Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we're going to take a look at another Horus Heresy 3.0 preview. This is more of a hype piece, but it's also giving us some key information about the future, certainly the early months of this new edition. This is the future of the Horus Heresy, digital downloads, expansions and new miniatures. So quite a lot to go over in this one. The clock is ticking and the drop pods are locked in. The new edition of Warhammer the Horus Heresy Age of Darkness is nearly here. We've already seen the contents of Saturnine, the massive boxed set containing 50 all new miniatures. And that's not all that's coming in the new edition. You'd bloody hope not. Here's a new edition. For the next 3 years you're only getting these new miniatures. At launch, sorry I'm just that way out today, it's the heat, ignore me. At launch, most armies will be supported by new Liber books. These 5 tomes detail the forces of the Loyalist and Traitor Astartes, the Mechanicum, the Solar Auxilia and the Mighty Walkers of the Titan Legions and Knight Households. And we have the images there, obviously using the Saturnine Terminators and the whichever flavour of chapter is the chosen one for this edition, so Salamanders and Iron Warriors. Solar Auxilia, I don't even know what that is. I'm guessing it's an Ogryn, but it looks a bit weird. It's probably an Ogryn. The Stompy robot things, I love those models. They were some of the nicest new plastics for the last edition, I think. Admech got some quite nice units last edition. And then one of the knights of whichever type of knight that is, I don't know. Expansive as they are, the forces that fought in the Age of Darkness were much more varied, so there will be more army lists provided as free PDFs soon after launch to cover smaller factions such as Demons of the Ruinstorm, the Imperialis Militia, finally mentioning the militia, and the Black Shields. I'd like to know what these army lists are. Is it just a selection of units with costs and rules? You build a force however you want, or is it a fixed? Army list makes it sound to me that it's fixed, but then I'm coming off the back of the new Middle-earth strategy battle game refresh where they basically went, yep, here's your army lists, you have to take these units, you get these buffs. So I'd like to know what Horus Heresy 3.0 defines an army list as. Maybe we'll find out, but free PDFs is good. I've been banging on about demons. I've seen demons and militia mentioned in the comments on my videos a couple of times. Black Shields we knew was coming as well, but it's good that they're actually referenced here. Talons of the Emperor, and that's the new plastic model that's coming. I wonder what it is. Could it be a new plastic unit? It's obviously the spear wielding whatever they are. Guardians, are they? Custody Guardians? But is this going to be a kit dedicated to Horus Heresy, or is it going to get rules, some type of thing for 40k down the line? Because Custodies didn't really change in the last 10,000 years, did they? I am interested to see what they actually do with the Talons of the Emperor. But the Talons of the Emperor, perhaps the most notable absence from the launch lineup, are the Talons of the Emperor. Fans of these Auramite-clad champions of humanity need not worry, as there will be a free digital PDF rules pack provided at launch, allowing you to play with your Legio Custodes and Sisters of Silence forces until the full Liber arrives. It will be a few months yet, but remember, you have already seen the tip of the spear, so by a few months yet, probably expect it Christmas, maybe into January. A few months usually means about 6. Legacies of the Dark Age. The Liber books deal with units which were part of the current Horus Heresy miniatures range. But there have been many units with rules in past editions which never had miniatures or which have left the range. Are they going to tell us what's left the range? You may absolutely still use these rules and miniatures in your games using the Legacies of the Dark Age PDF. Another free PDF. Good. Units will clearly be marked as Core or Legacy, but there are no restrictions on using them, either in casual play or at tournaments. Okay. Tournament organisers may choose to exclude certain units from their events, but because this game system leans more towards the narrative side of things, which is how they have built all of this, and that's what gets me most excited, the current plan is that all official Warhammer Run events will allow legacy units. That's how it should be. Not just for Horus Heresy, that's how it should be for every game system. But this is potentially a step forward. Maybe they're just trialing that idea with this. Honestly, with the amount of stuff that's probably going to be in these legacy documents, I think this is the best outcome for everyone. You can have this stuff, it might not have rules in the new books, but here's your PDF, and it's all legal. And if Warhammer Run events are saying that they will allow legacy units, I think there's a strong argument that pretty much every other tournament organizer will do the same too. Digital downloads and a roadmap. The first 5 months of the new edition will bring considerable digital support. This is good. With so much digital support, are we getting an app? If there's an app, I'm probably in. That's how easy it'll be for me. So digital support covering forces across the Age of Darkness, from the vengeful strike forces of Shattered Legions to the malign incursions of the demons of the Ruinstorm. There will also be rules for Zone Mortalis battles, bringing this compact play experience bang up to date. I am a little sad that Zone Mortalis rules aren't in the main book. I had a feeling that they weren't when they singled them out in the Journal Tactica video we did, but hey. They're coming in November. November isn't that far away, is it really? Let's be honest. So, the digital downloads 2025 Horus Heresy, running from launch in July through to November. Legacies of the Dark Age PDF and Talons of the Emperor army list. In August, you will get your Militia Imperialis army list. September, Demons of the Ruinstorm army list and Legiones Inducti rules. What are Legiones Inducti? What does that even mean? Someone explain that to me in the comments, please. I need to know now. October, Black Shield's army lists. Bit of a wait on that one, but that's fine, I guess. And then Shattered Legions army lists. And then in November, Zone Mortalis rules. So all of these, they are digital PDFs, they are free, and they should always be free and available on Warhammer Community. Journal Tactica. And this is the one that I'm tempted to actually pick up at launch. On top of all this, there will be a steady stream of printed expansions in the form of the Journal Tactica series. These 48-page softback expansions each focus on a specific aspect of the Horus Heresy, from key battles to major factions and new ways to play. The first of these lands alongside the Saturnine box set and focuses on the events of the Drop Site Massacre. As well as new lore and missions, many books will also bring a small number of new units to add to your games. And if the Legacies rules are all included for tournaments, all of these will be tournament legal as well. New miniatures. Stuff we've already seen. Horus Heresy fans can look forward to a substantial schedule of releases, accelerating the move from resin to flexible new plastic kits and adding new units. We already know what some of these will be from the drop site preview. Brutal Mark II Assault Marines, which look pretty amazing. The much anticipated Mark III Breaches, which also look pretty amazing. And the huge Fellblade Super Heavy Tank, which, again, surprisingly to no one, I think looks pretty amazing. Of course, with all this great content to come, it means that our Horus Heresy articles here on Warcom will undergo a few changes. The much loved, often forgotten about Heresy Thursday series will come to an end. No more shoulder pads and heads on a weekly basis. As there are loads of exciting new plastic kits to come, the release schedule won't accommodate reveals every week. I think that's fine. Honestly, they kind of gave up on it after a while and it just became AdMech or tanks at one point. But that doesn't mean we won't be supporting the game here on Warcom. We still have mountains of content, including extra lore, in-depth interviews with the studio, that'll be interesting, tactical guides and painting showcases. And when there are miniature reveals, this is where you'll find them. Make sure you stay up to date with all the Horus Heresy news as it drops by signing up to the Warhammer newsletter if you're interested. I think I'm signed up, I just never read it. Because I read so much on Warcom, to be fair, it just covers all that. Right, what do we think of this then? Let me know in the comments. Liebers, we knew that this was coming. This isn't a surprise to anybody. Talons of the Emperor, we knew they were getting their PDF. We've seen this image before, so this is not a surprise. Legacies. I was, as I mentioned while we were going through this, I was wondering if we were going to find out which units were going to go to Legacy. Now for this edition, it doesn't really matter because all of the Legacy units are available at Warhammer Run events, which probably means everywhere else. You can only judge this stuff on how Games Workshop want to do their events and things and what they include and what they exclude. As it stands today, this new edition, everything core or legacy will be usable at Warhammer Run events. That's huge. That's a really positive step forward. I think this is the perfect game system to do that because people have massive armies. And if you take away chunks of it, old resin models, things like that have just disappeared or that don't have new kits coming soon, things like that, this gets around that, but it also means that you can still use all of your collection in any way you want to play. That's a huge change that I want to highlight here, and I hope that this comes to other games. I would have loved that to have come to Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game a couple of weeks ago when they announced their Legacy stuff. I actually think we may get a U-turn on some of these restrictions if this goes down well. So kudos Games Workshop for that. And well, it's more the design team. Horus Heresy design team, well done for actually thinking about people's collections and putting rules in there. Legacy means edition 4.0, whatever that is going to look like, whenever that's going to be. You may start seeing stuff like this drop off, or legacy units might just be replaced with new plastic kits, which will then give them core rules. They have a bit of flexibility. The digital downloads thing is also quite huge, not quite as huge as letting legacy units in events, I don't think, but this is a good step forward. If you have Militia Imperialis, Demons of the Ruin Storm, is Demons of the Ruin Storm just the same as Demons? Black Shields is also a good one. Shattered Legions, so there's quite a few army lists there in the first 5 months that you are going to be getting for free. Work on the theory that for Black Shields, for Shattered Legions, potentially for Militia Imperialis, and Legiones Inducti, whatever they are, work on the idea that you'll need some sort of lever to back that up as well, but this is all positive. I'm a little bit sad that Zone Mortalis rules are so far down the line, but honestly there's going to be so many new ways of figuring out how to play. 5 months into the game and really getting your armies fielded and figuring out what works and what doesn't, I think that's a decent amount of time for them to test whatever the standard missions and stuff in the rules book. Journal Tactica, there's nothing new here. It does sound like they're going to be coming in thick and fast. I mean, they're not thick, they're 48 pages and they're softback. But, you know, they're coming fast. Same with miniature releases. I'm not saying that we're going to get something every month, but I think when we get a Heresy preview, it's going to be a substantial amount of things. We already have a good selection of stuff coming here. 2 troop units and a super heavy tank. I am interested to know how much the Fellblade is in plastic. Because if it's a reasonable price, I might be tempted. Honestly, the last few articles that we've covered, when we've looked at the Journal Tactica, when we've looked at more of the narrative-y stuff, I'm slightly concerned how interested in this game I am. I'm not interested enough to be picking up the box set. I know it's an evergreen product, but I don't want to potentially be getting in the way of a diehard Heresy fan who wants that box set. If they all sell out, I'm going to stay away. I am very tempted to pick this up. And I hope that these Journal Tacticas will also be evergreen products, but as it's been mentioned in the comments on that video, there's a high chance they won't be, and I accept that, I agree with that. But I hope, and the Legacy's choice gives me hope, that these will be an evergreen product, or at least when they're out of stock they will be replaced. That's, I believe, how the Arcane Journals have worked for Old World, and that's what I'm basing a lot of these ideas off. Same design team, same design aesthetic. This feels... I can't talk about rules, I don't know 2.0 rules, and I haven't seen anything, apart from the previews, about 3.0 rules. But from how they're delivering this new edition, from the changes they've said that they're making, which isn't everything, and they will have hidden the bad stuff, because they're all effectively just marketing pieces for the new edition to get you excited, but it's kind of worked. It's got me interested. I love this Legacy change. I really like the idea of digital downloads. So you buy your Liber books, say you've already got your Heresy army. For the first few months you don't need to add anything new. Buy the rules book, you buy your Liber books, you're set for as long as you want to be set for. You will also get new little army lists and things to try with other elements of your collection potentially, and they will be free. I think that's really positive. I think this is... certainly release-wise, this is being handled with care. They're not rushing everything out. There's a lot coming at preview, which I think is still going to be this Sunday coming. But there's 6 books, plus the rulebook, plus the box. I mean, we don't actually know if the rulebook is coming out on its own in the first 3.0 pre-order window. I expect that it would be, but we don't know. The box might be where you get the rulebook, or, you know, eBay is a thing. But there's a lot coming, but then I think it may slow down for a couple of months. And it'll be finding its feet and new people getting in, and obviously there's a lot of models to build up. That army box, that 50 new miniatures, if you want, that's one army. It's going to take hobbyists, normal hobbyists, not people like me who are dead slow, but normal hobbyists, it's going to take them a little bit of time, a few weeks, maybe a month or two, just to get everything painted up, set up, and have an idea of what they're doing with these new miniatures alone. So the way that this is staggered I'm okay with. Legacies and Talons of the Emperor looks like they'll be coming out at launch. That's positive. Drip feeding everything else. We know things are coming once a month. That's really good. Journal Tacticas, I think they're probably going to be one every 3 months. Do we think you'll get 4 a year, or do you think you'll get 3 a year? I mean, you could even argue with how they've positioned this. July to November is going to be fairly steady. You're going to get the release stuff and then that stuff will come out individually. Potentially you will get these. But that time frame, that November, I would anticipate that the Liber Talons of the Emperor, or whatever it'll be called, will be a December release, just going by these dates here. Does that also mean at that point you would get another Journal Tactica? Or could we get a Journal Tactica October and then maybe one with the Custodes if that comes out December, January? I don't know. The problem is we don't actually know what's coming from the other properties that they do. 40k, we know stuff's coming, but we don't really know when. We're down a couple of reveal shows. They've cancelled a couple this year. We know there's bits coming for AOS. We know there's bits coming for 40k. We know this is going to be coming, and then there's all the individual releases that will follow afterwards. But we are running blind a little bit in terms of what's actually releasing, so we can't figure out timeframes. But on the whole, I think that this is all pretty positive. I think all of it's looking pretty good, and as much as I don't want to, as much as I can't afford to do Horus Heresy, let me put it that way, I cannot afford to start this game. There is little bits that I'm interested in, and on this channel, I never thought I'd say this, but we will be keeping tabs on it. We will also be looking at new reveals, we'll be following preview shows, things like that. We will also be looking at new reveals and whatever the Custodes going to be, probably going to be revealed soonish, but also other things that come. We'll take a look at all the models, we'll have a look at all the rules previews and things that come out of this. We may even take a look at the digital downloads. It all depends on what I pick up, if I pick up a rulebook or not, so I understand it. I don't know. In terms of heresy content on the channel, it's all gonna be sort of blurry, but mostly led by you guys. If you enjoy my heresy content for what it is, which is an idiot talking into a mic about a game he doesn't understand, but if you enjoy that and you want more heresy content on the channel, it would be a very slow build, but I'm happy to look into it. Let me know in the comments below, and let me know what you think of this sort of structure, this little roadmap that we've got, and the way that things are shaping up within the first 5 months of this new edition launching. If you have enjoyed this video and you have enjoyed my Horus Heresy series and any of my other content, please do subscribe, like, do all the standard YouTubey stuff. I don't ask much. I always feel kind of bad asking, but if you don't ask, you don't get, and it is proven to work. So please, if you enjoy my content, like, subscribe. It all helps. I am trying to grow this. As soon as we get monetized, I'll be able to do more, maybe even getting started with game systems like Horus Heresy a little bit sooner. So there is a reason for me asking, but I will leave that to you guys. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.